welcome back to Spring into Math 7. I'm Mrs. Campbell, and today we're going to be doing part 2 in our lesson on angles. So let's get started. Okay, one thing I quickly wanted to mention at the beginning of this lesson is the symbol that we use to represent angles. It's right here. It looks like sort of like a triangle that's missing a side. This little symbol with the A means angle A. Most of what we're going to be talking about today is angle pairs. Specifically, we're going to be talking about complementary and supplementary angles. So let's take a look at, before I even explain what those are, what do I mean by angle pairs? Let's read. When we have two angles together, we can say we have angle pairs. The measures of these angles add up to form a special relationship sometimes, and sometimes they don't. But there are two special angle pair relationships that we need to talk about, that we need to know about, and they are called complementary angles and supplementary angles. Let's start with complementary angles. So complementary angles are two angles whose measurements add up to exactly 90 degrees, or a right angle. When you add them together, they make a right angle. Let's look at the examples below. I've got one angle at 70 degrees, one angle at 20 degrees, and together they total 90. This one's 45 and 45, 80 and 10, 53 and 37. You can see all of them total 90 degrees. We also have a special relationship in angle pairs called supplementary angles. Now these angles are two angles whose measurements add up to exactly 180 degrees. Together they create a straight edge. Let's look at some examples of supplementary angles. We've got 90 and 90, 82 and 98, 140 and 40, 115 and 65. All of them you can see make a straight line or a straight angle, and they add up to exactly 180 degrees. Now, one thing I wanted to give you a little tip. When I first started studying geometry when I was in middle school, I could never remember, was complementary 90 or 180 and was supplementary 90 or 180 degrees, and I would get them mixed up all the time. So the trick I used to use, I'll give to you, complementary starts with a C, and that comes before S in the alphabet. And 90 is before 180. And so that's how I remember. The C goes with 90 and S goes with 180. Hopefully that'll help you too. All right, let's practice this. Are angles X and Y, highlight them for you, complementary or supplementary? Remember what we talked about and give that a shot. What do you think? Well, if you said supplementary, you are right. Remember, supplementary is 180 degrees, making a straight angle or a straight line. Okay, also really important to understand, and it's actually kind of cool when you see how this is done, we can actually find the measure of one angle in a pair if we know the measure of the other angle. Let me show you what I mean by this. If we know that complementary angles always add up to 90 degrees, we can calculate the measurement of one angle in a pair of complementary angles. Well, how can we do that? Well, keeping in mind, you know this has got to equal 90 degrees. And you know that C is 44 degrees. It's pretty simple. All you really need to do is subtract 44 from 90 to figure out this angle D is going to equal 46 degrees. And of course, we can do the same thing with supplementary angles. And let me show you this example. Now, this one's a little bit different because we don't have the actual figure in front of us. We have it in words. But it says angles P and Q are supplementary angles. Remember, supplementary, 180. If angle P measures 112 degrees, what is the measure of angle Q? So we could also write it out in the form of an equation. Angle P plus angle Q equals 180 degrees. P we know is 112 degrees plus Q. That will altogether be 180 degrees. We simply subtract 112 from both sides of the equal sign, and we come up with angle Q equals 68 degrees. All right, everyone, that just about does it for this lesson. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.